You step into the echoing iron and glass hall, just as the lamps dim, and the first thing you notice is a heartbeat. That isn't a heartbeat at all. It's the slow, deliberate ticking of 100 clockwork marvels warming up for their evening performance. Your ears follow the sound like a thread through the air, and for a moment you can't tell whether it's inside your head or floating from the stage. That uncertainty hooks you, doesn't it? You're already listening for more. A soft cough at your elbow signals Albert Campion. He wears a smile that looks casual until you see the calculation in his pale eyes. You've read about him, perhaps traded whispers about his knack for untangling impossible knots of crime. But tonight you're standing at his shoulder, and that changes everything. He leans close and murmurs, "Clockwork makes a splendid noise, but grief is usually silent. Let's see which speaks louder." The remark hangs between you like steam. Spotlights flare, revealing a velvet-draped dais where the main attraction waits beneath a glass dome. The inventor, Sir Percival Stroud, strides forward, moustache bristling with pride. He bows, flicks a hidden switch, and the dome rises. Inside stands the Clockwork Widow, a life-sized automaton in morning black, eyes of polished jet, silver gears visible beneath translucent porcelain skin. Your pulse matches the mechanical cadence as her head turns with eerie grace. She curtsies. The crowd gasps. You find yourself leaning in, wondering if you can hear the tiny spring sigh when she moves. Sir Percival launches into his patter, promising that the widow can recite poetry, pour tea, and even listen with empathetic tilt of the head. His voice is confident, but Campion nudges you. "Watch his hands," he whispers. They tremble ever so slightly. Performance nerves, or something darker. Before you can decide, the widow raises a gloved finger as if asking for silence. The hall obeys. Her clockwork mouth opens to speak. What happens next feels impossible in slow motion. Sir Percival staggers, clutches his chest, and collapses to the boards. His monocle clinks against the floor like a dropped coin. A collective cry ripples through the audience. The widow, mid-gesture, freezes. Her gears lock with a harsh metallic rasp that scratches the air. You smell ozone, a hint of oil, and something coppery that makes your stomach tighten. The inventor is dead before anyone reaches him. The only witness able to see every detail is a machine built to mimic sorrow. The police arrive swiftly, yet you and Campion find yourselves waved through the cordon on the strength of his quiet reputation. The inspector, a broad man named Dalrymple, blusters about natural causes, but Campion's gaze is pinned to the widow. "Look at her left eye," he murmurs. You do, and notice a faint smear on the jet surface. Not dust, perhaps a fingerprint. How would a clockwork lady come by a human fingerprint? You help Campion examine the automaton. Up close, you can hear micro-ticking like nervous teeth. The hatch at the base of her spine is ajar. Inside, a tiny copper key is missing. Campion frowns. A key removed in haste can upset a delicate balance, rather like yanking a heart from a chest. He straightens and addresses the inspector. "I'd wager Sir Percival didn't die of the heart, but of something introduced to it." Dalrymple scoffs, yet orders a discreet post-mortem. You catch a note of relief in his bluster, as if he's grateful someone else voiced the suspicion. The exhibition is shut down, but you remain in the hall after midnight, while the gaslights hiss overhead. Campion paces, narrating thoughts for your benefit. Motive springs from love, money, or fear, sometimes all three geared together. He gestures at the other automatons, still and silent under dust covers. You ask if he knew Sir Percival well. He shakes his head. Only by reputation, though rumour says he favoured patents over people. Who benefits from his last breath? Footsteps click across the wooden boards. Ellen Stroud, the inventor's niece and chief assistant, appears, cheeks streaked with tears. She carries the missing copper key. "I found it near Uncle's body," she says, voice quivering. Campion studies her, then asks if she'll return it to the widow. She hesitates. "I'm afraid of what she might remember." The phrase chills you. Machines don't remember, do they? Or do they, when designed by a genius who understood both brass and sorrow? Campion suggests a demonstration at dawn, and Ellen reluctantly agrees. She fits the key, winds twice, and steps back. The widow whirs to life. Her head tilts, eyes focusing on Ellen with uncanny devotion. Campion whispers, "Ask her what she saw." Ellen's throat works. "Widow, who harmed Sir Percival?" The automaton's jaw clacks open. A puff of steam escapes like a sigh. Then nothing. Abrupt silence. A malfunction. Or deliberate withholding. Dalrymple returns with preliminary results. Strychnine, delivered in a tonic. Sir Percival sipped before the show. The bottle is missing. So is Marvin Clay, the business partner who funded the exhibition. A neat solution forms: motive, profit, means, poison, opportunity, obvious. The inspector prepares to close the case, but Campion's eyes glitter. "Too tidy," he mutters to you. Strychnine convulses muscles. Sir Percival fell as if a puppet string snapped, but there was no spasm. Also, the widow froze simultaneously. Coincidence? I think not. He looks at Ellen. "May we test a theory?" Campion traces wiring from the widow's chest to a small receiver hidden in her bodice. He explains that Sir Percival used a wireless pulse to cue the automaton's gestures. If someone altered the frequency, a lethal charge could ride the same signal straight to a human heart, fitted with a pacemaker-like regulator, something Sir Percival wore after a recent surgery. Ellen confirms the surgery, eyes widening. The killer didn't need poison at all. You suddenly remember the fingerprint on the widow's eye, Ellen's. Her moment of grief became the smear. Yet grief can coexist with guilt. Campion asks her gently, "Why did you remove the key?" Tears spill as she confesses fear of blame. She loved her uncle like a father. "But I swear I didn't harm him," she pleads. Campion believes her. So who had both the technical skill and cold resolve? Your mind leaps to Marvin Clay, but Campion shakes his head. Clay understands money, not machinery. His gaze sweeps the hall. "We require a red herring. Let us set one swimming." A rumour is leaked that the widow's memory coils recorded a silhouette during the fatal moment. Within hours, Clay bursts into the hall, demanding the automaton be dismantled for legal reasons. He sweats in his cravat, voice quavering. But Clay's panic feels like a man terrified of scandal, not murder. Campion lets him bluster, then quietly locks the doors. "Thank you," he says. "You've helped eliminate yourself." Clay gapes as Campion turns to the thin man who slipped in behind, almost unnoticed. Dr. Edwin Vale, the medical advisor who tended Sir Percival's recovery. Campion speaks directly to Vale, and you hear tension string tight. "Doctor, your hands are as steady as the widow's gears. You advised Sir Percival to install that cardiac regulator, didn't you? Convenient, because you also designed the transmitter he kept in his waistcoat. All that remained was to calibrate a second signal through the show's control board." Vale's face drains of colour. He tries to argue, but Campion produces a schematic Ellen recovered from the doctor's office. Notes detailing frequency thresholds that match the widow's operating range. Evidence clicks into place like cogs engaging. Why did he do it? Campion prods gently, for truth as much as conviction. Veil's voice breaks. He speaks of a daughter lost to defective factory machinery, a device Stroud had patented years before. No compensation, no apology. Revenge became his motive wheel, grief the driving spring. He wanted Stroud to die at the hands of his own mechanical marvel, poetic justice under the spotlight. You feel a cold sympathy. Tragedy begets tragedy when gears slip out of alignment. The police take Veil away. Dawn spills pale light through the windows, washing brass and steel in ghostly silver. The widow stands motionless once more, but something has shifted. Ellen approaches and lays a hand on the glass. Campion murmurs to you. Machines imitate life, but they can't heal wounds. We have to do that part ourselves. You step outside with him into the crisp morning. The ticking fades behind you, replaced by birdsong, organic and uneven. Campion smiles thinly. A healthy bit of chaos, don't you think? Reminds us we're alive. He turns his collar against the chill. Before he walks away, he asks a final question that lodges in your thoughts. What stories will our own hearts tell when their ticking stops? As you head home, the echo of gears and grief blends with the rhythm of your footsteps. You realize you've witnessed more than a mystery solved. You've seen how love and loss can wind people tighter than any mainspring, and how truth, once released, sets everything free.